Hey everyone, welcome to another podcast episode of the 3 by the Sea Designs YouTube channel. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 55. My name is Kim and this podcast is all about 3 by the Sea Designs. It's an Etsy shop that I have with my mom Dreama and my sister Becky. And we make and sell things for knitters and crocheters. So welcome to another episode. This one is going to have some shop news and I'm going to update you on some projects that I'm working on. Today is Thursday, February 27th, and this will go up tomorrow on Friday, the 28th, which means that it's almost March. Where did the last 2 months go? I feel like the beginning of the year always goes by so fast. Well, the whole year does, but for some reason you're like, okay, how is it already March almost? So welcome to you. I hope you enjoy the episode. I'm trying to be a little more regular on the channel just because I would like to keep you guys updated a little more frequently than I was at the end of last year. This is the first cup of coffee I've had today, and it tastes yummy. I don't know how I got ready and got my mind set ready for this without coffee, but I was like, no, I'll just have some when I record the episode, so it's yummy. I hope you guys have something to drink and a project to work on. So, an exciting thing as far as the podcast goes is that we hit 3,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for liking the videos that we put out and just for subscribing and being a follower here on Instagram or on YouTube and also on Instagram. But it's exciting when you hit a milestone like that. So I appreciate each and every one of you for going along on this journey with us. I did change my hair a little bit. It's a lot shorter now. So, and I do still need to color it, but I'm embracing my 40s something age now. I am how old? Let's see. 44. Oh my gosh, how old am I? I'll be 44 this year, but not till the end of the year in September. So I'm 43, so I'm embracing my 40s hairstyle, and it's a lot easier to take care of, so I like it. What was I saying? Anyway, welcome to the channel, and thanks for checking it out. Thanks for subscribing, and I am going to do a giveaway on this episode a little bit later because we hit the 3,000 subscribers, so I wanted to briefly go over a few things we have left in the shop because there's not that much of Tulip Festival. In fact, there may only be the DK sock sets left. This is what we added, I guess about 2 weeks ago, Tulip Festival. And you guys have been loving it, so much so that it's sold out, except for the DK weight sock sets. It comes with these two really spring green minis. Our DK weight base is called our Destin base, and all of our bases are named after cities in Florida, which is where we live. And this is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend. It has 245 yards for 100 grams, and the minis have 49 yards for 20 grams. So with our sock sets, you get 140 grams of yarn. I am still working on my Tulip Festival socks, and I will update you on those in just a little while. All right, what else? Oh, our Love Story pre-orders that we had up back in February or beginning of February, they are getting ready to ship today, actually. Becky and I packed them up yesterday and got them all ready to go, and the mailman will take them today. So we did have a couple of things left over, and I'll actually put them in the shop tomorrow morning. I'll add them back into the shop tomorrow morning when this video goes up. That way you guys have a scoop on them. But we only have one, like literally one sock set left of our Sanibel base, which is our fingering weight. And then we had one Cocoknits base, which is our fingering weight MCN blend. And I think they're right up here. And then we had two Stellina, our Amelia base, which is our Stellina base. It's also fingering weight. So there's literally, that's it, because we just had a little bit extra left over from when we dyed the pre-orders. So once they're gone until probably next year for Love Story. We do have a little bit of pink sapphire left, as well as gold, not on all the bases. I think this is our Cocoknits base. We have pink sapphire on a few other bases, and then silver, again, not on all the bases, but they are there in case you want some beautiful tonals. And oh, I forgot Bluebird. Only a few of these left on certain bases, not all the bases. I love Bluebird, it's so pretty. See all those speckles? Bluebird goes really well with Tulip Festival. All those spring colors, it's so pretty. Okay, oh, and I wanted to show you gold on our Surrey base, which is our St. Augustine base. It's a lace weight Surrey alpaca silk blend. Isn't that so cool how it worked up on the Surrey with the little pops of darker gold? This would be such a pretty project. Oh, I love these colors together. So those two are available if you wanted to make something with them together. Okay, so what else? We do have some other things in the shop as far as yarn goes. And then we still have some stitch markers and needle stoppers. I'll put up a picture of them here of what we have. Another exciting thing that we have in the shop right now is our Peter Rabbit inspired mystery set. So this is our next mystery set for this year. Or is it our first one for this year? Yes, because the other one was Frosty, which was in December. So I guess this is our first one for this year. And it is called Bunny in the Garden, and it is inspired by Peter Rabbit. Here's the inspo picture for it, and it's such a beautiful colorway. And we collaborated with Noelle from Charmed and Dangerous, so she is making us a really adorable clay charm, stitch marker to go with it. So you have the option of purchasing the stitch marker as well, or you can just get the yarn. But the stitch marker is super cute, so you definitely want it. And when you do go to order the Peter Rabbit mystery, please, since it's a pre-order, please purchase that separately. We had some issues with the Love Story pre-orders. We always encourage you and really, really try to get you to purchase those things separately, because when you add in-stock items to a pre-order, first of all, I know you're doing it to try to save on shipping, but it actually charges you more than it would have if they were separate, or at least the same amount, because Etsy, for some reason, and there's nothing we can do about this, we can't change it, but for some reason Etsy thinks that you're going to ship them at different times because one of them's in stock and has a ship date of 3 to 5 business days, and then the other one that's a pre-order has a ship date of 4 or 5 weeks away. So Etsy thinks that we are going to ship them at different times, even though you've ordered them together. So, so we ran into that problem of people being charged more for shipping. And then we also ran into an inventory issue too, because, we have to hold on to that inventory if you add in-stock items to your pre-order. And there came up a situation yesterday when we were packing the Love Story orders where we didn't have one of the items that the customer had purchased. I don't know if we had our inventory numbers off or if we sent the wrong thing to someone, but so it was complicated. We had to go in and cancel the part of the order and refund part of the shipping, and it happened a couple of times yesterday. So Becky and I sat down and were like, okay, if someone orders something with a pre-order, then we will let you know that item, that in-stock item that you ordered, is going to be canceled off of that order. And that is mainly just to avoid issues like what we were having yesterday, where we were having to stop and go back and correct all of these things. So it helps us avoid making mistakes. It helps us avoid inventory issues. And it just overall simplifies things for us when we are packing up pre-orders. Sometimes we have hundreds of orders, and it at once, like, to try to get done. And when you have a portion of them that have extra items with them on the pre-orders, it just makes the process very difficult. So it's hard to explain, but basically we are just asking you to please do not order anything in stock with your pre-orders. And from now on, unfortunately, we're going to have to cancel those items off of the order, and you can go back and order those things separately if you choose to do that. We hate to do that, but it's just, we have to do what works well for us, for our business, for our time, and we're trying to avoid making mistakes with orders. So, and we, hate to have to cancel things when you've already ordered it. So, that being said, pre-orders are up right now for our Peter Rabbit Mystery, and those will ship at the end of March. So, you'll have them right in time for spring. Speaking of spring, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the spring update. So normally we have 4 major updates every year: spring, summer, fall, winter. And we had decided after our last update around Christmas, like November, December, that we were going to, because we are trying to figure out ways that we can get ahead of schedule, because it seems like we're always behind schedule. So we decided that for spring, we were going to have a very small update, not like our usual where we have a lot of project bags and multiple colorways. So we are going to do a spring update. We're still going to have some spring colored yarns and some stitch markers, some needle stoppers, like notions type stuff. We were going to have a project bag, but we have to delay it, most likely because of some supply issues that we're having with the bags. We're changing the design slightly on something. I'll talk to you more about that when we have it all finalized. But so we're just revising some things, and so there will not be project bags in this update in March. It will be on March 15th, and a couple days before the update, I will do a preview video of what will be available. We are bringing back Tea in Wonderland, that colorway. And we're bringing back another colorway. I won't tell you what it is yet, but it's been a long time fan favorite. And some new stitch markers and notions and things like that, like I said. So I'll talk all about that again on the next episode, which would be in 2 weeks. and show you everything that we will have available. But March 15th, so mark your calendars for that. And so we're already working on summer because we wanted to get a season ahead of everything. So probably in May, we would do our summer update like we normally do. And it will have, as long as everything goes okay with the project bags, with the designing of what we're doing, it will have, the summer update will be like a normal update. So we want to get ahead of a season and start working on things like ahead of time, mainly because that way we have time to really focus on the design process of colorways and bags, and just not feel so much pressure to get it all done in a short amount of time. So that's what we're doing. And speaking of Peter Rabbit, since we were talking about that as the mystery, I wanted to show this again that I got, this book. I think my mom gave this to me for Christmas. Not last year, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before. And it's called Knitting Peter Rabbit. 12 Toy Knitting Patterns from the Tales of Beatrix Potter. And it has all of these cute little knit stuffies, and I want to make one so bad. So I'm thinking that I might make one, or might try to make one this year. I don't know. I just thought it was really cute, and it's perfect for like springtime, and I would probably save them for if I'm ever a grandma, and I'd save them for my grandbaby maybe. I don't know. That's probably a long time away, but I can save them and they'll be fine. So you can make all the characters, Peter Rabbit, Benjamin Bunny, Flopsy Bunny, all of, Jemima Puddle Duck, all of them are really cute ones. And she recommends to use this, this designer, Claire Garland. She said, she tells you like how to use this book. She gives you lots of information about like tips and tricks. And she uses Drops alpaca. And I guess it's fingering weight. So these are going to be probably pretty small little toys, I would imagine. I have to look at the dimensions. So she uses Drops alpaca, Drops baby merino, which is 100% wool, Drops Fable, which is 75% wool, 25% polyamide, Drops Flora, Drops Kid Silk, Drops Nord, all of these different, so everything is Drops. And then King Cole Luxury Fur. So this is what some of the yarns look like that she used. So I think I would probably try to use the same yarns, just because I would want them to be the same sizes and everything. So sometimes I try to substitute yarns, but I just think they're so cute the way they are with their colors and everything. And so I'm thinking about ordering those yarns and trying I've crocheted little stuffies and amigurumis and things, but I've never knit one. So I just wanted to, I've shown this book before, I just wanted to remind everyone of that book since we were doing a Peter Rabbit inspired mystery. Okay, what else? All right, I think that's it for shop news. I'm going to move on to my one finished object. I finished my Frosty Socks. I love how they turned out. They're so cute. This was yarn that, this was our last mystery yarn, actually, that you guys got in December, or at the beginning of December, I think. It was inspired by Frosty the Snowman. And so it was just a plain vanilla sock. I make a lot of shorties. And I did, what did I do? I need to write this down in my new yarn book. So I did 15 rounds. I think 15 rounds. Let's count. So I did 15 rounds on the cuff of a 2x2 ribbing, and I striped in the contrast color, that mini that we had with the sock set. I striped that in for 5 rounds, and then I went back to the main color for the last 5 rounds. And then I did probably 15 rounds on the leg before I started the heel flap and gusset. And then on the bottom, right before the toe, or right when I started the toe, I did 3 rounds of that same contrast color again. They're really cute. I love this yarn. I love how it knit up. So that's my one finished object. Am I close? I'm close to finishing a couple other things. I'll show you those. My Tulip Festival Socks are in this beautiful Tea in Wonderland project bag. We had this bag in the shop last year for spring, and this is the one that we were going to bring back for this March, but we have to delay it until probably summer, because of the issues that I was telling you about earlier. So, but this is what it will look like. It'll have a different lining though. But this is what I have my Tulip Festival socks in. And I have one of them finished. And I think I showed that to you last week. Now I decided that I wanted to make these as, I really love these a lot, but I wanted to have them as a sample for the shop. Like if we ever go to a show, or if we ever do like a trunk show or something like that, and we have Tulip Festival with us, I'm going to keep these as a sample for the shop. Mainly because I don't typically like long socks. I like them shorties, like I was saying earlier. But I had so much fun knitting with this yarn that I just kept going when I made the sock. So I made them long. And then I was like, well, I'll just use them as a sample for the shop. So then I was like, when I was making the second sock, I decided to knit it a little bit differently, because I wanted to show the difference between a heel flap and gusset and a different type of heel. What the yarn would look like in that difference. And you won't be able to see it fully until the sock is finished, like the differences, because they're very, very subtle. This colorway is, the way it's dyed is, we call it like a random technique, but there is some, what's the word I'm looking for? There is some repetition to the colors, which is why you see these colors somewhat in the same spots all throughout. Now, this could change depending on your needle size, your stitch count for your socks, or depending on what project you're making. If you're making a hat, or knit versus knit in the round versus flat, all of that can change the way your garment or the way your fabric looks. But if you see, sometimes when you're making socks and you decide to do a heel flap and gusset, when you pick up the stitches here and you start doing your decreases along this gusset, your stitch count is significantly higher because you've added, let's see, an extra at least 30 stitches on from picking up these and picking up these, depending on what size you're making. So your stitch count changes, which makes your yarn change, which is why it looks a certain way here, and then when I got to the gusset, why it changed. And sometimes this one is not as noticeable because it's more subtle color changes, but I guess you can see it a little better on this side too. See how it sort of clumped together those greens and yellows there, and then on this side it clumped together the purples and the reds. That's basically because when your stitch count changes, it can change the look of your fabric. Now, again, that isn't a big deal, but it's why when self-striping yarn, a lot of times people will put in an afterthought heel or a butterfly heel or a shadow wrap heel, because when they're using self-striping, because they don't want to mess up the not just the order of their stripes, but the length of each stripe. So I am doing the second sock with a butterfly heel, which is, it's not an afterthought heel, but it's a short row, a mock short row heel from K. Jones. And you can see that, well, this is what I was saying, you won't be able to notice it as much, but with this heel, there's no interruption in your fabric of your main color. So again, the changes are very, very subtle, and I'll show it more when this sock is finished and we can really compare and see what the differences are. But I think I prefer, when there's a variegated yarn or a self-striping yarn, I think I prefer to put in this type of heel. If this type of heel fits well for you, then, and you don't want an interruption in the fabric of your main color, then this type of heel would be better for you. If you don't care and you just like how it looks, no matter what, or some people really have to use the heel flap and gusset for a better fit, then this would be the heel for you. Just know that when you do that, it does, or it can change the look of your fabric in that section. And then once you've done all your decreases, it goes back to normal, like it looked on the leg. I hope that makes sense. I wonder if I put it on a blocker, if you'll be able to tell a little bit better what I'm talking about. Yeah, that shows up a little bit better there. It's the changes are so subtle. I just thought that was interesting, and when it's finished, I'll have, since these are for a sample, it doesn't matter that there's two different heels because I won't be wearing them. My son just told me that my haircut reminds him of Kevin's mom from Home Alone. And now I can't unsee it. Okay, where was I at? All right, I showed the Tulip Festival socks. Let's talk about my scarves. My scarves. Scarves? I don't know. Let's talk about the one that I'm almost finished with, which is the Hawthorne Infinity Scarf. One Skein Hawthorne Infinity Scarf by Jessica Zaws of the Wiggly Bridge. It is a fingering weight, it's designed to be an infinity scarf because you're going to seam it up at the end. You guys were very adamant that I do not frog this project. So last time I talked about that I was going to, I was not going to frog it. I was going to keep going, and I have, and I'm actually almost finished. So basically I used the alpaca yarn that I had. This yarn would have been so good for that Peter Rabbit book that I was showing you earlier, but at the time, because I was like, what am I going to do with this yarn? At the time, I didn't think about that. I could have kept these for that, but it's okay. I'll get the drops. Anyway, so I decided that for the first half of the scarf, I striped these colors. There were 4 of them. This is just like a natural alpaca yarn. I'll link it below. I've talked about it before. So I had done maybe like I had done 2 repeats of the colors. And so I did a 3rd repeat of the colors. And then for the second half, I'm blocking the colors just like one color per section. The pattern says, I think she used a self-striping, or can't remember what she used, but you could use any fingering weight yarn. It says you can use any fingering weight yarn for the infinity scarf, but I really like the yarns used in the pattern since they wash wonderfully, are super soft, and aren't very expensive. If you would like your cowl longer, just work extra rows. If you prefer shorter, just omit several rows. So whatever Hawthorne is, I think it's Knit Picks. Yeah, Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering weight 1 skein. So anyway, so I want to wrap it around. I'm hoping I'll be able to wrap it around 3 times. So at the end, you seam it up. So as you can see, I've gotten 3 of the colors done. And it tends to roll on itself, but I'm hoping once I block it, it won't do that. It's a pretty pattern though. It's very simple. And it's a free pattern too. So I just have the last color to put in, this dark, like chocolate brown looking color. And then I'm done, and then I can seam it up. I'll seam together the ends, and then I will block it, give it a soak, block it, and then I'm hoping I'll be able to wrap it around. You're not gonna be able to tell now because it's all not blocked yet, but I'm hoping I don't know. I might be able to get it a 3rd time once it's blocked, but it's going to look something like this. So I kind of like that there's going to be like this longer section, or I can move it around and make it like where you can see all the colors. So I'm glad that I did that. I feel like that was a good compromise for myself because I wasn't sure if the colors were, I wasn't sure if the blocks were wide enough or long enough to see all the color, but now that I'm looking at it, you can definitely see it all. So, and this is such a unusual color palette for me because I typically go for like more bright in your face colors, but I actually really love it. So it'll be something that I can wear with so many different things, and I can't wait to see how it looks after it's blocked. So that should be done on the next episode. That's exciting. I really enjoyed working on this actually. I had started it last year and then I put it down and then I picked it back up, and I'm so glad that I did. And I'm glad that you guys all encouraged me not to frog it because I'm glad I kept going with it. So, and then my other scarf is, what's it called? It's the one by Kay Jones. I can't remember what she called it. The Yuletide scarf, that's right. From Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. This is a DK weight scarf, and I'm using the Night Divine Minis set that we had in the shop last year, and I've added quite a bit. Let's see, last time I showed it, I was here. I think that's where I was. So as you can see, I've added quite a bit. It's turning out so beautifully. It's hard to see the color change in these blues into the greens, but maybe that way you can see it a little better. This one's like a very bright blue, and this one is more like a greeny blue, more like aqua kind of, and then we're getting into like true aquas. You can see it a little better there. So I'm holding fingering weight double. I'm pretty sure in the pattern she says to do that because she intended this to be a, she used an advent for it. So she held her mini skeins double, and then she used a contrast color in between each one. It's a beautiful pattern. I'm really, really enjoying it. Once that other scarf is done, this one is going to get my full attention. This is Becky's. Becky's is the one with the gold in the middle, and then I'm going to make one for me that has our silver color in between the stripes. I mean, in between the colors. So I love it with the gold, and I think I'll equally love it with the silver. But it'll be interesting to see the difference between the two. So that's that. After this color, oh, I don't have it. Oh, do I have it with me? Yes. After this one, which is the one I'm working on now, I'm going to change to this one, which is like a minty, light minty green. So I am very excited. And of course I have it in our Night Divine project bag. This is the bag that inspired the minis set, which are actually sold out. So we don't have it anymore, but we will bring it back probably next year or later this year. But this is the bag that inspired that set and the colorway too. We had the Night Divine colorway. Love this bag. Okay, I think that is it for projects. I am working on other things, but I haven't made any progress on them, so I'm not going to show them. But if you want to see the other projects that I have going, go back 2 episodes to episode 53, and I did like a whip parade where I showed all of my long-term languishing things. So I'm just going to slowly work my way through them and not stress about it and just enjoy it. All right, let's talk about the giveaway for this episode. So we have 3 skeins of Kindred Spirits, which was a mystery colorway that we had last year for Anne of Green Gables. It was around this time last year. And we have 3 skeins of it. So I'm going to draw 3 different winners since we just hit 3,000 subscribers. So you will get a skein of Kindred Spirits. It's a beautiful springy colorway. It's got little pops of blue and little tiny hints of pink in here with some speckling. It's gorgeous. Someone in our Mermakers group just made a cowl for our knit along, our make along, and it looked really, really pretty with it. So 3 lucky winners will get a skein of Kindred Spirits, as well as a stitch marker. I just don't have it to show you. It'll just be like a little flower stitch marker. Thank you again for helping us reach this milestone of 3,000 subscribers. I hope that we continue to grow the channel, and I hope that I'm able to continue to bring good content to you guys, and that you keep enjoying the podcast. A lot of you say that you really enjoy it, so that makes me very happy. So we'll have 3 winners. Any comment down below will do to enter you into it. And then I will draw the 3 winners and announce them on the next episode, which would be, let's see, let me look at my calendar. The 14th. So the 14th of March would probably be when I do the next episode, and that will actually be a preview of our spring of what we're adding for spring, which would be the next day on the 15th. So I'll announce the winners that day. Okay, I have a little bit of Happy Mail that I wanted to share with you, and then that's it. I got to have a fun day. My mom and I went to Four Pearls, which is a yarn shop over in Winter Haven, and it's like the home of Emma's Yarn. And it's our local, well, it's one of our local yarn shops. And we went and met a friend of ours, Leah. She is Leah from Leah Loves to Knit. She's a sock designer. And she was in town, and so we met up and we spent a good portion of the day together. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed meeting her. So hi, Leah. And so we went to Four Pearls. I didn't get very many pictures. I did get a picture of her and I together. But we went to Four Pearls and we sat and we looked all over at all the yarn, and of course I bought some. That's one of the things I wanted to show you. And we sat and just got to know each other. It was the first time we'd met in person. And she has tested socks for me, and I have tested socks for her. And it was just really nice to finally meet in person. So then we went to lunch afterwards, and the three of us just got to like really just sit and knit and enjoy spending time together. It was really fun to get out and to do that. I enjoyed it. So that was fun. Let me show you what I got. Because of course I had to get stuff. So first thing I did was I needed some, I've been wanting to get this needle gauge. It's from Cocoknits. This is the box. I have already taken it out, but it's called a needle gauge. And let me show you what it looks like. So it comes like this. Oh, I guess it's magnetic too. It comes like this. And it says Cocoknits needle gauge on the top. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, and then you slide these out. And each one has a different size that you can test your needles with to make sure you're using the right needles. Isn't that cool? So, and it says on here the size. You probably won't be able to see that. But US 0, like it says it right here. It says US 0 and then it says 2 millimeter. So, and then it goes all the way up to a US 15, which is a 10 millimeter. Oh, you can see it that way. There you go. So I got that. Something I've been wanting for a long time. And then I got some colorful stitch stoppers, also by Cocoknits. These, I like these a lot for the tiny ones because sometimes, like our needle stoppers are great. I love our needle stoppers, but they don't always fit the smaller needles like a 0 or a 1. In fact, they definitely don't. And you have to put both needles into one stopper, which is fine. But these have like little teeny tiny ones specifically for those smaller sizes. So I got a box of these. I've used them before and I like them a lot. And then I got some Emma's yarn. So I want to make the Cooma cowl, which is a pattern from Dobratz, and I'll put a picture up of it here. And it's just a very simple cowl, and it uses a mohair with it. Sorry, I was trying to think of the mohair. And so I'm going to use these two colors. Aren't they gorgeous? So this one is called Sarasota, which is funny because that's a city in Florida. So I thought that was cool. And this is her super silky base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% silk, 400 yards for 100 grams. And then the one I got to go with it is this one. This is the Mohair, Marvelous Mohair. And this is 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. And the colorway name is called March 24. It's so soft. So I'm going to use those together for the Cooma cowl. I thought they looked really pretty together. And then I got another skein. So Leah and I were talking because she's from Florida, but she moved to another state. And but she comes back here frequently to visit family. And we were just talking about Florida and how much we both love it here and she misses it. And so it just, this colorway name just reminded me so much of that conversation and like our visit together. So I got this skein. This is a practically perfect sock base, and it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's called No Place Like Home, which really reminded me of our visit. So I have no idea what I'll do with this, but it was just really, really pretty, and I loved the colorway name and that it reminded me of that experience. So that was my haul from Four Pearls. I love this yarn shop. Absolutely love it. If you're ever in Florida, you have to go to Four Pearls because it's such a cool experience. I haven't been to a knit night yet because I live about an hour away from there. So, but I want to go to a knit night there and just see everybody. It would be, if I lived closer to there, I would be there all the time. I forgot to show my last subscription to Avery Lane Creations. So I I canceled my subscription to her. I've had it for 2 or 3 years, but I haven't been using a lot of my stash, of the yarn. So I guess I've been hoarding it. So I decided after December, I decided to pause my subscription to her. It has nothing to do with the yarn or the product or anything because I absolutely love it. And I was torn, like, should I stop it? Should I not stop it? But like, I've got to use what I have first. And then because I did that with Yarnable too. I had Yarnable for a couple of years. I'm like, I have to use my Yarnable yarn and then I will redo my subscription. So I'm going to do the same thing with my Avery Lane Creations. So the last month I got was for December. I just forgot to show it. So here is the yarn. It's called Maybe It's Cold Outside. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. And I get her DK weight. So I have so many beautiful skeins of DK. And I'm either going to start making a pair of, I think I'm going to make, what I'm going to do with this yarn is I'm going to make DK shorties for me because I just love them. And then with the leftovers, I'm going to make a DK weight scrappy blanket. Where was I at? I had to change my battery. Okay. Anyway, so I think my plans are, I'm sure I already said this, but my plans are to make DK weight shorty socks with all of the colorways and then use the leftovers to probably make a DK weight blanket. Maybe like a jelly roll, I'm thinking. I think that would be really fun. So that's my plans with that. The extras for this month were a soak sample, which is a like a wool wash, and the scent is fig. And then she always has a little bag of goodies. This one was a little pair of scissors and this Yummy Griff's coffee toffee. I can't believe I forgot about this because if I had remembered, I would have probably eaten it sooner than now because I got this over a month ago. So I'll be having a little snack later. Okay, so again, I absolutely highly recommend her subscription. I was really torn about canceling it because I love everything. I love the yarn. I love it all. Her base is so soft. So soft. It's an 85-15 superwash merino nylon. Excuse me. And it's 246 yards per 100 grams. So when I'm done using it all up, though, I will definitely, if she's still doing subscriptions, which I'm sure she will, I will definitely get that again because I love it. My boyfriend got me for Christmas a subscription, or not a subscription, a gift card to Etsy. And I haven't used it. And then the other day I was like, oh, I remembered that Delightful Works, which is a project bag maker. Her name's Susan. That's her card. She had a bag that I needed and I had forgotten about it. So I went on to her Etsy page, and I can't show you what's inside of here because there's a secret project that I'm working on. But I ordered this beautiful project bag, and I'm pretty sure it was the last one. So I'm sorry, but definitely check out her shop because she's got some really beautiful project bags. So, this is kind of a clue to a new colorway that's coming out in April, and I'm also working on a new sock design. So I'll share all of that later on when I'm finished with one of the socks. So I was like, I have to have this bag. I had wanted this bag already, but then when I started working on that sock design and that yarn, I was like, okay, definitely have to have that bag. And then I also got one of her, I think she calls them buckets or baskets. I can't remember, but I got this one as well. So it's an open top. This is the fabric inside. This is like a patriotic one. Isn't it so pretty? I love that lining. And then this blue and white on the outside. That's her logo. And I just thought this was such a cute, like, I don't have any bags like this design. So it's a perfect size for like a sock or a, like a scarf or something, or a hat. And she sent these little needle stoppers as well. I guess they come with the bag. So that is that. I also ordered from another project bag maker, but I haven't gotten it yet. So I'll show that on the next episode. And then the very last thing I wanted to show, this is so cool. My mom got me this for Christmas. It's from Stitched Stories, and it's an embroidery kit. Look how cute this is. Start each day with a grateful heart and coffee. So in this kit, since it's a kit, it comes with everything you need. So in the tin is all of your supplies. It comes with the hoop and all of the instructions. And I just thought that was so cool. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to get started on it. Here's the website, stitchedstories.com. And then she also got me, these are sticky backed water soluble prints. And so you use your floss, and I guess you can cut these out. I'm not sure how to use these yet. I'm new to embroidering, so I've done it a little bit in the past, but not much, and I kind of gave up on it. I don't know. And then I think this came with it. I don't think she had to order it extra. I think it came with it, but she may have, I'm not sure. Like a little project bag for it. So I forgot to show that on the last time I was showing some of my Christmas presents, right? Don't forget to order your Peter Rabbit mystery set if you haven't already. And because we will be taking them down at some point, because we have to get the orders already going and get them dyed and everything. So, don't forget to go on and order that. Check out the remaining stuff that's in the shop, and I will see you guys again in 2 weeks. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the year so far. Comment and let me know what you're working on. Let me know how you're doing, and any comment will enter you into the giveaway. So good luck to everyone who enters, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Take care. Bye.